Hello and welcome to the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. The grandstands are packed, the cars have made their way to the grid, and we're minutes away from lights out. The 3.6 mile long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out.
Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the third episode of the 1990s driver career here in F1 2020. Well, this is the third part to the series, as I said just there. We are doing 3 races as the last 2 episodes we have done, but this race will be Britain as the 5 red lights are on now. We're going to try and get a good getaway from the grid, and it is a better getaway from the grid than we've had in the last couple of races. But here comes the McLaren up my inside. I'm going to try and go right round the outside. I get the move almost done. I go wide and I think that's a wee bit of tyre bumping there as I get past the McLaren, and the McLaren's going to try and come back down my inside. And now through the loop, there's contact between us, there's tyre bumping between us through the loop, and now on to the straight. Now we're going to try and get past him as we get a good slipstream. But he goes wide and I go a wee bit too wide and we almost make contact there on that outside curb. Now going through Brooklands, and now going to go through Ludd Field, just trying to stay ahead as much as I can, but he is pushing behind us. Now down the straight on the run down into Copse, and that straight line speed, he is off. He is gone in that McLaren. Like, yes, there's the aerodynamics are better, but he's just absolutely gone. See you later. He's gone. And now the other McLaren, I think, is going to try and attack us now as we go through Maggots and Beckett's, and now through Chapels on a run down onto the straight, and about on the run down to Stone. Here comes the other McLaren. I think he's going to try and go round my outside on the run down into Stone, and he gets past me before Stone. I did look to see if I can make the overtake, but I braked a bit too early and the door was shutting too fast. I go a bit wide there as we go through the final section of the lap. Now just trying to stick with them as much as I can through this final part of the lap. Now for the final turn, just trying to, as I said, just trying to stick with them as much as I can through the lap. Here comes my teammate in that in the same Williams as us, because obviously he is our teammate, so he's in the same car. But now he's just trying to catch up to us. But as I've got a wee bit of a gap here and my teammate's not attacking me too much, I can talk about the last 2 episodes. The last 2 episodes haven't been the best. Crashing out in the first round, and then podiums in the next 2 rounds in the first episode. And if you haven't seen that one, go and check it out, because the amount of drama that happens in that episode is insane. In episode 2, we did have a shine at glory in Canada, but after that it was just disappointment. But again, if you haven't seen that episode, go episode 2 of the driver career. I would highly suggest you go and check out that, because the drama in that is also highly interesting. Now in the British GP, now as we're just again, our teammate isn't attacking us too much. Now I get to talk about the standings. This top 5 is your top 5s in the standings, actually, as it's been mostly the same podium people on the podium so far this season, except from us. We've been on that podium occasionally, but nothing too drastic, nothing too bad as we've been on it. What's it now been? 3 times on the podium so far on this season, and hopefully I can keep 3rd place and make it 4 times on the podium this season. Now through the first turn, just trying to stay ahead of my teammate as much as I can, so I don't have to worry about him too much. But now through the loop, as we do have still have a big gap, still a big gap between me and 2nd place, and I'm trying to build that gap between me and my teammate, and it is about just below a second now, near enough half a second, as he did close drastically down that straight. But now I'm just trying to keep the car within track limits and keep the gap. We do being sector 1 here in on the third lap of the race. It's only 5 lap races, so I can fit 3 races in, and it's not too long of a video, but the amount of drama that's been packed into 5 laps over the last couple of races has been insane. Now through Magnussen, Beckett's and about to go into Chapel. Skipping ahead to the final lap, I didn't really want to do this, but there was nothing happening at all, as we just built a gap to our teammate and lost about 2 seconds. As we were building a 2-second gap, we lost about 2 seconds to second place. But now coming down the final, sorry, not the final, one of the second last back straight before the main straight. Just trying to stick within track limits and stick with the gap that we have to our teammate now as we go through Chapel there. So go a bit wide and the car starts to slip and it hits the wall, and I'm bouncing all over the grass, and that gap is closed drastically, and our teammate might have a run on us into the final couple of turns. There's no damage to our car, surprisingly, after clattering into the wall about 3 times there as the car started to slip away from me. But no matter, as we come around the final couple of turns, as long as we don't spin it, as this car is very slidey, proven from the other couple of races. But as we come around the final turn now, we come third in the British GP. It's a better result than our last race in this series, and it is a good result. 3rd place, and it is good points, but we aren't going to move up or down in the standings because it is the same top 5, which isn't the best scenario, I have to admit, getting points like this and then not moving up or down in the championship, because it is the same people in the championship. But celebrating 3rd place here in Britain, and hopefully we can carry this momentum through into Belgium and try and possibly get a win in Belgium, and either, if we don't get a win, possibly challenge for that 2nd spot on the podium, because I don't want to be stuck on the third step for too long. So this is the standings if you wanted to see for yourself. Anyway, 75 points off the leader as we go to the Belgian GP now.
Welcome along then to race day at what we hope will be another thrilling Formula One Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, on the grid now, lining up 3rd for the Belgium GP as we go straight to the 5 red lights here in Belgium. It's lights out and away we go. It's an okay start for us, but it's an even better start for the McLaren in front of us, who immediately jumps our teammate as we're going to... Oh, we just avoid contact there. You can see how close that was. This car starts to lose the back end, and my car starts to drift off to the right and almost go right into the wall. And here comes the McLaren coming down my inside as we go through a rouge. I'm going to try and go round the outside, but it doesn't work as I carry too much speed up through a rouge. Now, going to try and get the slipstream off the Benetton. The McLaren's trying to do the same. It's going to be 3 wide, I think, into this chicane, but the McLaren just gets ahead. So it's not 3 wide as I go on the curb just too much, because the Benetton is still there in the middle for some reason, as they didn't switch out to the left to get a better line into that chicane. Now through the long right hairpin. I did look up the inside, but the gap wasn't there. And if I did go for it, there would probably be contact. As the car did have a wee snap there, so I did correct it. And now on the run down into the big long left-hander downhill. Just trying to stick with second. Sorry, it's not second, third place. Trying to stick with the McLaren in third place and see how can to the back of him as well. Just trying to stick with him, as Belgium is probably one of my strongest circuits on the previous and newer F1 games, but we'll have to see how I do on the new F1 game, which a video will be out on the 13th of June. June, so stay tuned for that. But now coming through the bus stop chicane onto the main straight, the fastest lap is being set a 2:02. It's not a good lap for us in this old Williams. Can we maybe go right down the outside of the Williams? No, we can't, but can we just stick with our teammate on the run down into a Rouge, Rouge and Radion, sorry, probably two of the most iconic turns in F1 as we carry way too much speed going over the grass, and personally I felt like that was a illegal overtake, so I'm going to slow down and I'm going to give him the position back, and hopefully we can make a cleaner overtake. So I just carried too much speed. I thought I could take that flat, again thinking that I'm in a 2022, in the 2022 game, in the Red Bull or a different 2022 car. But now just trying to stick with our teammate. Can we maybe go up the inside of him through the right hander? I'm not scared to go up the inside of him, but I don't make the stupid decision to do it. But I wasn't scared to do it if the gap opened. Now on the run down into the big long swooping downhill left hander, you have to brake just a wee bit, as you can see with the braking indicators there, as we're just behind our teammate. Can we try and go up the inside of the chicane? Yes we can, down the inside, and it's a brilliant move to get us up into third place on lap 2 of the Belgium GP of 5. This will probably be the longest race in the series here, as I'm not doing any races in Singapore or anything after that. Oh, is it turning way too early there? I don't know what I was thinking through the left hander. I have no idea what I was thinking there, now that I'm looking over at the editing stage. Now going through the final chicane, now final turn, and now on the run down onto the main straight, onto lap 3 now. Skipping ahead to the final lap as we're about to start our final lap. And because it's the final lap, I'm going to let you listen to this lap in silence so you can see how I take these corners. coming down the main straight now. We do stay in third. We do not set fastest lap, though we're about 2 seconds off from fastest lap somehow. But we do come third in Belgium, and it is a great carry on from momentum. Would have liked to get some more points so I could possibly move up or down in the championship. So we do stay in fourth after the Belgium GP here. But finishing is the exact same podium as the last race here in Belgium, and the home man, Benjamin Coppens, I'm pretty sure, has won the Belgium GP to make his home fans happy. We do finish third, which is a good result for us championship wise and constructors wise here in the series. But now after the race, again, we won't move up or down in the championship, which is, that's not the best. Staying in the same spot. Fifth and sixth have a swap around though, which is interesting.
Thank you for joining us once again as we get another Formula One Grand Prix underway. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6 mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action.
Now on the grid, sorry, as the black screens appeared. Now on the grid for the Italian GP here for the final race of this episode. Starting third once again, but the 2 McLarens are first and second as we try to get a good getaway from the grid. It's not the best getaway, but it's not the worst getaway, as our teammate does want to try and come up our inside as we on the rundown into turn 1. It is a very heavy braking zone as the yellow flags behind. There's contact between the McLaren as I go down into neutral, as I was too eager to get down the gears, and I go down into neutral, and that's cost me a lot of time compared to my teammate as we go through this long right hander. Skipping ahead to lap 2 now as we're right behind our teammate as we go on the run down into Scary now. Right on behind them with the slipstream, we're going to be alongside them. We do set purple second sector as I turn it way too early. I don't know how I've not got track limits for that. I was too eager to get into the turn. I committed way too early as I get in front of my teammate though on lap 2 of this race. Well, I did let you listen to that lap in silence, but we do skip ahead to lap 5 and we do come home to place third in the Italian GP, and again we're not going to gain or lose any places in the drivers' standings, which again is rubbish after getting the points that we got here in Italy. But as the drivers come out, as we do go to celebrate the third place here in Italy, and that will be the final race here in this episode, but I do hope you enjoyed this episode. It's probably not been the most drama-filled episode as some of the others, but getting third place in every single race in this episode is pretty good, as we do look to carry this momentum through to the Japanese GP next for the next first race in the next episode. But this is Jay from the JS9 Racing channel, after a good episode here on the 1990s driver career. This is Jay from the JS9 Racing channel signing off after a good episode here in the 1990s driver career.